Hello everyone, so welcome to today's video. Obviously by the title you know that this is a pregnancy update. I feel like I dropped the ball on the updates. In fact, I dropped the ball on a lot of things, like taking photos every single week. I've skipped some weeks. I have just gotten so busy with things around the house, and then just progressing through the pregnancy and kind of going through some ups and downs, which is totally normal, honestly, with pregnancy. But I did want to kind of give you an update. At the time that I'm filming this video, I am still pregnant. Very pregnant, actually. And my due date is around the corner. We just don't have that much time left. We have a few weeks. My mom is going to be coming to visit very, very soon, which seems so crazy to me because I was talking to her about coming to visit when I first found out I was having the baby, or first found out I was pregnant, the beginning of the year. And I feel like everything is just happening so fast, and I feel like I'm going to blink and the baby's going to be here. But then I also feel like it's going to drag and be a little bit longer because I'm so anxious to meet this little bundle of joy. I have already washed a few pieces of clothes, and I put them in my nightstand. We got new nightstands, so I selected a drawer to do like baby clothes, swaddle blankets, little newborn diapers, which are so tiny compared to the diapers that my girls are wearing right now. Yes, I'm going to have 3 diapers. That's right. That's absolutely right. It's unbelievable, but it's such a big blessing, and I'm super excited. So if you didn't watch my first video talking about the pregnancy, announcing it, and kind of coming back to YouTube, because I did take some time off as we were transitioning from our old house into this new build that we have, and just the process of getting into this house, we hit a lot of roadblocks, so therefore I just took the time to step away from YouTube. Plus I wasn't feeling good with morning sickness. So I do want to do a recap of my second trimester and kind of, I don't know if I want to get too much into my third trimester symptoms and how that's been going, because I may have a chance to do another one of these videos, or maybe not. Maybe this will be the last one, and then the next time I do a video, anything baby or pregnancy related, it's going to be, hey, I had the baby. You know what I mean? So I am super excited. We do not know the gender, and I specifically did not want to find out until I gave birth. I wanted it to be an even bigger surprise. Going through that process of having a baby is so magical and so life-changing in ways that it's indescribable. If you're a mom, you know. If you know, you know. But finding out the gender when you give birth, I feel like takes that experience and that whole thing up to the next level. And I thought, why not go out with a bang, since this is my last. I am not having any more kids. The 4th is my last baby, and I feel like that's a great number. It's a lot of kids. It's a big handful, big blessing, but I think that that's enough because they are a handful. So I am finding out the gender when I give birth, and it's going to be exciting. So I did buy a few gender-neutral outfits that are white with gray, a little bit of mint green, nothing too gender specific. I bought gray and white swaddles. I bought a new swaddle blanket from Copper Pearl, which is my top go-to swaddle blanket brand, hands down the best, until they start figuring out how to get out. Then it's time to do the little zip-up ones. So I still need to order one of those. But I kind of go back and forth between feeling like it's a girl, it's a boy. If it's a girl, that's going to be great because I have literally saved every single piece from when I had my now 3-year-old, which has been passed down to my 1-year-old, and she's been wearing all the pieces. My 1-year-old is wearing the 2T size stuff. She's a beast. She's huge. And it's just so funny because I saved everything. So if I'm having a third girl, then I really don't have to buy much. But if it's a boy, I really do have to start from scratch. That's why I bought a couple of gender neutral things. As far as like the names, we kind of narrowed it down to 2 names. I wanted to go to the hospital with 2 names, one for a boy, one for a girl, and just have a name that we actually thought about. When you don't know the gender, it can kind of be like, okay, so you have a list of names, and at the hospital, you're trying to figure out what name kind of, do you look like a, I don't know, just any name, right? Or does this name sound better? I just wanted to kind of put some more thought into it, so I have a name picked out. And I'm not going to obviously share the name until we come home from the hospital and I do my post on Instagram, baby's here, and I'll do the name announcement at the time. And then you guys get to find out what it is too, because we're all finding out around the same time, because I feel like that would be kind of fun. So for symptoms, my second trimester, they say you get that bounce back, you get your energy, you're just like motivated to do things and going places, tackling things, nesting and all that. No, not me. It didn't happen. It didn't happen this time around. I feel like it's because I was chasing after two small little kids. I have a toddler who is a handful. She is something else. And then obviously my youngest, she is a little over a year. And, that can be kind of challenging when you're expecting and you have to still get up and do all these things. And I talked about that briefly in my first video about the pregnancy, that it's just difficult. Like when I was dealing with really bad morning sickness, I still had to take care of the girls while my son was at school. I still had to make them, food. I had to take care of them. My husband was working. And so it's just so much harder when you have more kids to take care of that can't do anything for themselves and you just don't feel so great. So the second trimester, I felt like I was able to kind of get through the day and, be fine most of the time. I would say 90% of the time. But there were some moments where I was tired, moments where I felt like I just couldn't keep up, or where I wanted to take a nap and I couldn't. But it wasn't like anything super crazy, nothing super intense. So that kind of just like flew by. My appetite came back. I've gained a lot of weight. Currently now just a couple weeks really from my due date, and I've gained almost 50 pounds, which is the most that I've gained ever in my life and ever being pregnant. I don't know why this one I've gained so much more weight than my last one. I think with my youngest, I think I gained like 30 to 35, no more than 35 pounds. I really didn't put on that much weight. I was still wearing my regular size clothes, even though I was, 2 days before my due date. I was still fitting everything. Now I'm wearing my husband's t-shirts that are extra large and they're tight. It's a struggle to find things that fit. I didn't want to spend too much money on clothes because I knew this was my last, so I didn't want to go crazy with all the maternity stuff. But all my maternity clothes are really tight. Like, this is a maternity tank top, and it's looking more like a crop top, if you ask me. So I don't know what's going on, but it's okay. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. But the extra weight gain has come with its set of challenges, which I will get into. But I feel like the second trimester, I was able to actually take a vacation and go somewhere for a week with the kids and my husband. And, there was a few moments that I was kind of struggling because we did a lot of walking, but I feel like I'm glad I took the time to do that when we did, because there's absolutely no way I could do that now. We did have the anatomy scan. Of course, I told them not to tell me the gender. And so for that anatomy scan, everything turned out well when we had the scan done, but they did find a spot in the baby's stomach, so they did send me to a specialist maternal fetal medicine doctor so that I can become a patient there, because they weren't quite sure. And that came with a lot of emotional ups and downs. If you followed my journey with my last pregnancy with my daughter, I did have to see a maternal fetal medicine doctor. I was high risk because she had pericardial effusion, which is basically excess fluid around the heart. And so that comes with a set of challenges. And I was dealing with a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress just before I was pregnant. But then once I started realizing, okay, she could have a heart problem going forward, that just sort of took my anxiety up another level. And it was really hard to kind of relax, and enjoy that pregnancy. I felt like I was on pins and needles the whole time because the fluid around her heart just kept increasing from when we found out to right before she was born. And then when she was born, they did an ultrasound on her heart and found out that the fluid was gone. So that was a huge relief. So I found myself right back in the same spot of feeling the exact same way of high anxiety, very stressed, concerned, worried, wondering, okay, so my last one was the heart, now this one is the stomach. Like, what's going on here? Like, I just felt, I don't know, I just was not happy about it and concerned. So I did have an ultrasound done. It was like a bright spot during the anatomy scan at my regular OB's office, and they sent me to maternal fetal medicine. They saw the same spot, and they were just kind of monitoring the spot. But the baby was still growing and progressing, and I was measuring right on track. The heart rate was great, and the movements were there. There still are. And so I was just a little bit on edge about that because it's, it's a major organ. It's the baby's stomach. So I was kind of on edge, and so we had that scan from the maternal fetal medicine right before I'm going on vacation, which I was glad that we did it that way, because that way the vacation was something that just kind of took my mind off of it a little bit. Fast forward a few weeks, we go back for a second follow-up with the maternal fetal medicine doctor, which is the high-risk doctors. And I felt like, if the condition wasn't going to improve, at least I'm with a specialist. This is what they do. They specialize in high-risk pregnancies, and they're able to do lots of things even while the baby's still in utero. So that's like so fascinating that those things can be done. How medicine and science have advanced is just unbelievable. But we did go and have a scan done. The baby was growing at the time. That was several weeks ago. The baby was almost 4 pounds, which would explain a lot of the feeling of just a lot of heaviness. The baby was head down, or has been head down since about, I would say 22-ish weeks, 23 weeks, when I had my appointment. Because when I had my initial scan for 20 weeks with the OB, which is standard with every pregnancy, the baby was breech. And so we were hoping and praying that by the time I got to my due date that the baby would flip so that I could still try for a vaginal delivery. But if I can't, it's part of the process. It is what it is. If that's the only option I've got to do a C-section, it's the only option I got, and I'm going to do it. So thankfully, when we went to the maternal fetal medicine, they were like, oh, well, baby's actually head down. I'm like, okay, just 2 weeks ago, the baby was breech, and now the baby's head down. So I started to panic thinking, am I going to have this fourth baby soon? Am I going to go into labor early? Because I'm kind of scared. I'm like, my mom's not here to take care of the other kids. What do I do? If it's too early, I started, like, all the wheels started turning in my head, And, well, I didn't go into labor shortly after finding out. But the baby has been head down for a while now. So we are just, like I said, a few weeks from our due date, and he or she is still head down, which is great because that's kind of where they need to be for a vaginal delivery. So I'm hoping that I can still do that. But again, if I can't, it is what it is. So when I go back to do the follow-up with the maternal fetal medicine doctor and find out the baby was 4 pounds or almost 4 pounds, still head down, the spot in the stomach had disappeared. So I guess it must have been just something that could have looked abnormal in the original scan that my OB did that was could possibly mean something. But again, it just kind of put me into a place where I was kind of worried and panicking because I wasn't sure what was going on. If it's something that could be fixed, is it something that's going to be a lifelong thing that this baby's going to have to deal with for the rest of his or her life, which obviously wouldn't be fair. And I was just concerned, but I was very relieved when they said that it went away and it was fine. I mean, the maternal fetal medicine doctor, when they found the spot that the OB saw, he wasn't really concerned about it. He's like, we see this often. Sometimes it's, it's there and it means nothing. We do just monitor these types of cases. And then we just continue to check the baby via ultrasound every few weeks or so. So I left there still kind of feeling like I didn't have any answers. Like, I didn't get a diagnosis. I didn't get anything. And they usually, well, in my experience, I would say my experience, they have been a little bit vague with how they go about telling you what's going on. So thankfully the spot is gone and everything looks fine. And the baby is growing right on track, exactly where he or she needs to be. So it's a big relief, but I was kind of like on pins and needles again, which kind of just almost felt like deja vu with my last pregnancy. Second trimester was just, you know, just, it wasn't as difficult. I was still getting like heartburn, which I still do. I get it every day. And they say that's an old wives' tale. And I do truly believe that, because I was breathing fire with my 3-year-old, and she was born with so much hair. Then I barely got anything with my last baby, and she was almost bald. So I think there's something to that old wives' tale, that the more heartburn you have, the more frequent or more intense equals the more, you know, more hair. So I think this one's going to have a little bit more hair than my last. Like I said before, I've gained a lot of weight, so that definitely feels physically different. And if you're watching and you're not pregnant, or maybe you haven't had kids yet, regardless, if you are just, you know, your normal weight, and then you sort of add 20 pounds, 30, in my case 50, you feel so different. Everything is a struggle. You know, turning over in bed is a struggle. Getting out of the bed, sitting down, getting up, bending over, walking up and down the stairs. And of course, I do have a baby with its head down, you know, in that region, like pushing in my pelvic area. So that adds a lot. But I physically just, I'm exhausted going just up and down the stairs. I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm just ready to have this baby and to just put this behind me, because it is physically a lot harder than I thought. I'm having significant discomfort and pain, which the midwife said that it's severe round ligament pain. So I'm currently wearing like a maternity belt for support. I feel like it's just difficult to walk. I am not feeling so great. So I just feel like I'm ready, you know, and I feel like the things that I'm experiencing are all just part of pregnancy. You know, at some point you're going to have round ligament pain. At some point you're going to feel achy, and you're going to just feel tired and done with the pregnancy. And I feel like I'm starting to get to that point. But I also feel like I want to savor these last few weeks, because this is it. I have no intentions on having a 5th baby. So I'm trying to like soak this all in, take this all in, but it's like everything is just happening so fast. Back to school is already here, and it's like, what? The next thing I know, I'm going to the hospital and having a baby, and it's like unbelievable. Unbelievable how time just flies. As far as other symptoms, I think the main things are just, you know, obviously discomfort, going to the bathroom a lot of heartburn. My gums do bleed every time I brush my teeth, which is a normal pregnancy thing. Being out of breath. I think you may have been able to see that in some of my few videos that I've posted since coming back, just being a little bit out of breath and just having a difficulty getting comfortable. And I just feel like nothing clothing-wise fits me, so I might as well just walk around naked and just be like, whatever. Be like, whatever. But yes, like I said before, kind of just briefly touching over the fact that I am being seen weekly, so I feel like, you know, that ball is starting to roll, and I do feel like, I don't know, I don't know if I'm going to go into labor on my due date, or if it's going to be before. But I feel like I'm okay with it as long as my mom is here. I think I'm fine. Even if I do go into labor at 38 weeks, if she's here, it's okay. I'm good with it. But I feel like I'm a little on edge, because I'm like, I just don't want anything to happen before she gets here. You know what I mean? Like, she needs to be here. So you got to stay in just a little longer. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Just the common discomforts of pregnancy is really what I'm having. I think the thing that stands out the most between this pregnancy and my last 3 is the significant round ligament pain that I'm feeling, where it's like there's some times where I can't even walk. It's so bad. Like, I'm hunched over like an old lady. That would be like the most significant thing, obviously, besides, you know, having such a big belly and, you know, being so big, and just, it looks like I've passed my due date by like 6 weeks already. If I'm being honest with you, but it's okay. It's fine. It's whatever. I'm just gonna enjoy it for what it is, and yeah, so I don't know if I'll be able to do another update. Will I? Maybe I'll try to aim for one, but I feel like I may not have much besides, just those days leading up to when labor actually starts to happen. That may be the only thing, because I feel like this round ligament pain, I've had it for a while now and it's not going away. So that's obviously I already told you about it. So I don't feel like would have a major update on that unless it just magically stops, which I doubt. Highly doubt that's my case. So I will insert some like belly shots so you guys can see what my belly looks like now. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Just kind of curious about how the pregnancy has been going. Some of you have been leaving me comments, and just hoping that everything is well. And I am so appreciative and thankful for you for caring so much about me and just taking the time to leave those comments on my other videos. It really does mean a lot, and it's very, very heartwarming to know that people out there care. So thank you so much for commenting, for asking how I'm doing, and just for being here and watching this video and being a part of this journey. I hope that I can do another video before I actually have the baby, but if not, maybe the next time that I do any baby stuff, it's an announcement and a video showing you the baby, which would be so exciting. And I look forward to that, and I hope you will tune in for that. Subscribe if you are new. Welcome to my channel. I hope you will take the time to watch some of my older videos and some of my older pregnancy update videos if you're interested in that. And yeah, that's it. Follow me on Instagram. It's always here on the screen. I hope you're having a fabulous day, and take care, and I hope to see you in my next video.